Birmingham, once the proud industrial heart of Britain, is now sinking into a pit of filth and degradation. What was once a symbol of resilience and civic pride has become a cautionary tale of governmental negligence and betrayal. The city's streets are buried in filth, literally. Rubbish, black bin bags torn open by vermin, and decomposing food waste lie in towering piles in alleyways, on pavements, and even outside schools and hospitals. It is not just unsightly, it is dangerous, it is sickening, and the worst part, it didn't have to be this way. Before we dive into the full horror of what's happening, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon. If this story makes your blood boil, share it. People need to see what has become of Birmingham. This entire disaster stems from a bitter bin strike that began in March 2025. Refuse collectors, outraged by Birmingham City Council's plan to axe the waste recycling and collection officer role and effectively cut their wages by thousands, took the only action they could. For weeks they have refused to collect the city's waste, but let's not pretend that the blame lies with them. This crisis didn't start with the workers. It started with a Labour-run council so deep in debt it had no choice but to slash essential services, and a national Labour government that stood back and watched it all burn. The Labour-led Birmingham City Council has been in financial freefall for years. In 2023, it was revealed they faced a black hole of £790 million. Mismanagement, failed IT projects, equal pay claims, all contributed to a spiralling debt crisis. Their solution? Gut frontline services. And when bin workers were told they would be forced into lower-paying roles under the guise of restructuring, they walked. Who wouldn't? These are the men and women who keep our cities livable, and now their absence is turning Birmingham into a post-apocalyptic nightmare. Let's be absolutely clear. Birmingham has been Labour-run for years. Long before Starmer's government took office, the financial implosion of the city, the botched leadership, the sheer disregard for responsibility, these were red flags, warnings, and now that Labour holds power nationally, those same broken instincts are infecting government at the highest level. Birmingham was not a warning Labour heeded. It was a preview of exactly how poorly things would be run if they were ever handed the keys to number 10, and here we are. What's followed since the strikes began is nothing short of horrifying. Over 17,000 tons of waste now clog the arteries of the city. Mountains of rubbish spill onto roads. In some neighborhoods, children walk to school between bags, crawling with maggots. The air stinks of ammonia, rot, and despair. Entire streets have become impassable. Rats the size of cats have taken over the city. Pest control services have reported a 70 to 80% surge in call-outs. A man in Edgbaston was reportedly bitten by one. In Alum Rock, families report seeing rodents scurrying across their living room floors and burrowing into broken black sacks. Some residents are sealing their doors with duct tape in a desperate attempt to keep the vermin out. We're not talking about mere inconvenience, we are talking about a public health disaster in the making. Public health experts have warned of potential outbreaks of leptospirosis, a rat-borne disease that can cause liver failure, kidney damage, and death. There are fears that hantavirus, another deadly illness carried by rodents, could spread if urgent action isn't taken. Already hospitals have seen an increase in respiratory infections, and some GPs are advising immunocompromised patients to avoid leaving their homes. Let that sink in. In Britain's second largest city, people are being told to stay indoors because it's too filthy to safely walk the streets. All of this begs one question: where is the government? Where is Keir Starmer? Where is Health Secretary Wes Streeting? Where is Lisa Nandy, the Secretary of State for Levelling Up Housing and Communities, supposedly responsible for supporting local authorities? Where is any sense of urgency from any of them? They offer platitudes, not action. Streeting called the situation deeply concerning. That's the best he could do, deeply concerning. Starmer, silent, absent, cowardly, and let's not forget this isn't Wes Streeting's first moment of weak leadership. His muddled stance on NHS strikes last year left doctors furious. Lisa Nandy? The same MP who once promised she would rebuild trust with local councils, now nowhere to be seen as Birmingham implodes. They are fiddling while Birmingham burns. The Labour government had a golden opportunity to prove it could lead differently, to show it cares about the working class, about local communities. Instead, they've shown the same cold detachment that people have grown to expect from politicians. While rats gnaw through nursery fences and streets drown in waste, Starmer and his ministers offer nothing but media-trained soundbites and shrugged shoulders. And let's not forget, the rot in Birmingham was already in full decay before Labour ever formed a government. While the Tories failed to provide oversight or financial lifelines, Labour councils across the country, Birmingham especially, were allowed to crumble under the weight of their own poor decisions. The bankruptcy of Birmingham was not just a civic failure, it was a political indictment. One that foretold exactly how the country would be run if Labour ever gained power. And while the council and government play hot potato with responsibility, the people of Birmingham suffer. Businesses are closing their doors. A restaurant in the Jewellery Quarter shut indefinitely, citing the overwhelming stench and rat infestations as reasons they could no longer serve food safely. A primary school head teacher in Ladywood wrote to parents urging them to keep children at home because the sanitary conditions around the school grounds are a serious health risk. Residents have taken to social media to share photos of 6-foot-high garbage heaps, rats feasting on pizza boxes and dogs dragging bin bags through playgrounds. The images have gone viral, but still no one in authority has stepped up. The message from Westminster is clear: Birmingham can rot. This is what happens when you let local governments fail. This is what happens when a national government lets ideology override intervention. They say it's a local matter, but when thousands are put at risk, when an entire city is paralyzed by waste and pestilence, it stops being local. It becomes national, it becomes moral. It becomes criminal negligence on the part of those with power who choose not to wield it. There are solutions, but none of them are easy. The council must reverse its cuts and offer refuse workers fair pay for their essential work. The national government must provide emergency aid and resources to clean the streets and control the infestation. And perhaps most importantly, we must seriously question how we ended up with a system where entire cities can be left to collapse without so much as a ministerial visit. This isn't just about Birmingham. This is a warning shot for every city in Britain. If this can happen here, it can happen anywhere. Years of austerity, mismanagement and political buck-passing have created a perfect storm. And now we're watching one of our greatest cities fall apart in real time. So if you're watching this and feeling furious, good, you should be. Share this video, send it to your MP, demand answers, demand action. Because if we don't fight for Birmingham now, we may soon find our own communities drowning in the same neglect. And while you're here, like this video, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll keep exposing the stories they want you to ignore. Don't look away. Don't let them off the hook. This is Britain in 2025, and this is the price of silence.